Hey everyone, today we're going to be building a full-fledged interactive admin panel on MongoDB, which is exactly what you see in front of your screen. So we're going to build a couple of interactive graphs. So you can see, for example, I have my store order distribution here, and if I want to isolate the orders in New York, I can quickly double click it and it'll show me only my New York orders. Some interactive graphs, we're going to build all CRUD operations. For example, I have my product list over here where I can insert new products and I can click on any product to view information and either update some information, like I can change this category, name, or I can delete the product entirely. So everything is functional and we're going to be building all of this in just a few minutes. So yeah, stay tuned and I'll catch you guys in the video. Yes, so as always, I'm starting with a blank screen, kind of. I just have my layouts and columns in place, which helps me make my screen and app responsive. Check out the link in the description if you're interested in doing that. But let's get started right away. So the first thing I want to do is connect my MongoDB to DronaHQ. So to do that, head back to the console over here, click the plus connector button on the top right, click on MongoDB, and you should get this screen. There are a lot of details, but it's actually really easy. Just give a name for your connector, a suitable name, and head back to your MongoDB Atlas account. Head to Overview tab, where you'll get an option to connect your database to there, and that's what we're going to play around with. Click on this connect option. You can click on connect your application and just copy this code, what you see, and paste it back in DronaHQ. Sorry, not in the name field, in the connection string field. So that will fill up rest of the options. All you have to do is ensure that your username is there over here and you enter the correct password for whatever your account is associated with, and enter the name of the database you're trying to access, not my first database. So edit all of that and ensure this whitelist IP is enabled. And back in MongoDB, quickly jump over to the security network access and ensure that whatever IP address you're accessing with includes the IP address mentioned in Studio over here. So you can whitelist both of these addresses so that they can access it easily, and that's pretty much it. Once you test connection and save it, you're good to go. So I already have my connection ready, so I'm not going to be doing that, but it's a really simple process. And the next thing you want to do is add queries to access all of your collections or datasets or whatever you want to call it. So to do that, click on add query and you'll be getting the screen. Just enter a name. For example, if you want to insert data, you can maybe choose insert data, put a proper name, select the collection on which you want to insert data to. So maybe I want to insert it into product info because I'm inserting a new product. Action, since we're inserting, we're going to select insert one and just enter it in the JSON format of whatever you want to create. So key one, you can see they mention it below. You need the format of key 1 value 1, key 2 value 2. So if I head back to my database in MongoDB, I can actually see how my data is structured. Let me quickly go to collections and sample supplies product info. Yep, this is where I have it. So each my product has a product ID, product name, price, and a category. So these are the 4 keys I need. So you'll have a different data set, obviously a different collection. So structure everything as per your data set when working real time. So for example, I'll head back here and I'll enter product info as my key or product ID. You can see the helpful suggestion box suggests your keys. And now over here, I'm going to set up, say, variable names, which I can access in screen so that it's dynamic real-time information rather than static values, which is exactly what we want. To set up a variable, just go to add variable over here, write the variable name, so PID short for product ID, enter some test value, maybe 13, default value 0, and yep, just click on add. And now you can actually access variables by putting it in quotes and double braces. So right now I am setting my product ID to be PID and I'm actually insert this. So let me run and see if it works. it should work. Hopefully you can see that it has worked. And if I go back to my MongoDB backend and if I refresh it, wait for it to refresh, you can see a new document has been added. If I go to the last document, it contains the what record we just added. So it works obviously, and similarly we have to add all our fields, set up the variables, and set up whatever APIs you want. So you have options to insert one, insert many, update one, update many, delete one. Find is for getting or retrieving your data. So set up all the stuff you want. I already have a lot of stuff stepped up, and not in this screen, but I actually have set it up app specific. So for example, let me put a control I want. Let's say a chart control over here. So now that it's added, if I go to my bind data and if I head over to the connectors section, I can click on supply sales, and I have a lot of queries already set up. So if you add a query from this section, it's going to be app specific. You can only view it inside the app. But if you add a query from this section, from the console section, it'll be visible across all your apps and all your users. So keep that in mind when setting up queries and set it up however you want. So I have all of these queries set up for fetching data, for fetching all the stuff I want, for deleting product, updating product, using exactly the same thing I just told you. So once you have this set up, all that's left to do now is to build your UI and connect these queries to your UI controls, and we'll have our dashboard ready in no time. So let me quickly exit this and start building my UI. I already have a chart control, so I'll use 2 more chart controls to represent the other graphs. So just drag and drop them in the respective places. I'll also need the control to view a list of all my products. For that, I'll be using a list control, and I'll be using a compact card list, which you can find here. Pretty handy and nice control. So yes, we'll tweak it a little bit. So in the properties section, cards on one row, we'll put it as a single card because we want it like that. I want my headers, and well, let's finish setting this up. So for the product list, let me first bind the data, then it'll be a bit easier to set up. So I go to the bind section, I go to my connector section, let me click on my database, and well, I'll choose the get product list because that's what we want. Give it a good name, get products list, and yes, just test and finish and we should be good to go. Now just select the keys you want to display on the card. So I want to display everything: my product ID, product name, category, price, and the image, of course. So I'll click on save and wait for it to save. Awesome. Now I can head back and customize this a bit more. So I do want to display my cover image. My cover image is my image column. I can maybe increase the width a bit, 62, and I don't want the max height to be 42. I can maybe set it to 100. You can see the changes that are happening on the left hand side and how they look and affect. So just keep something that suits you. My title column is my product name. I'll increase the font size a bit, maybe 17. Yeah, that looks better. So you can see the live changes happening in the control over here. So rest seems good. And on card select, when I click on my card, I want to go to my next screen, which is my product display screen. So I'll choose navigate with select and I'll navigate to product display, and yes, that should be done. Awesome, we've finished setting up our product list. Now we need to set up the charts. So again, click on any chart. The process remains the same. We just need to bind data and set them up there. So I'll click on my connector. I'm going to click the same connector, and I am going to click on my purchase distribution connector here so that I can get a get purchase distribution info. and well, save and finish. What keys do I want on my graph? We're again showing the purchase distribution here. So the idea is I show what type of purchases have been made from each city. So I'd say I want to find out the amount of online orders made from New York. So I can get all such information from a single graph. So let's just select all the columns I have here, which is my purchase method and all the cities I have. Awesome. I'll click on save and wait for the save post to come up. Awesome. So I'll go back to my properties and let's play around here. What type of chart? Bar chart, yes. My x-axis column is my purchase method and my y-axis column is all the other columns because I want to plot the data for each of the cities. So this is where the power of Plotly comes in. Our charts control can configure multiple Y columns together. And if you are curious about the full capabilities of our Plotly control and our charts control, do visit the link in the description where we show you how to create all types of charts with almost infinite customization. But for now, let's quickly just select all cities and go ahead. So once all my cities are selected, I need to go and configure each of the columns. So I'll remove the extra information because the default name doesn't look nice and change the aggregation method to none because we already have the right values. So just for each row, remove the extra info and set it to none. And after that, we should be good to go. Awesome. So there are other controls like the x-axis. What is my x-axis plotting? So the purchase type, so something like purchase type. And what is my y-axis plotting? Order count maybe. So just enter those values. So the legends, I want to display it on the top. I just prefer it there. I don't need my mode bar value tip. You can play around and configure options that work for you. And that's it, we've set up our graph. And similarly, we just need to set the other two graphs by, well, binding the data and then configuring the options in the info section. So yeah, let me just do that real quickly. Yes, so I just finished setting up all my data. My charts are fully functional. My table grid is fully functional. Oops, I forgot to add a label for the table grid. Let me quickly do that. I'll call it product list. And I want to unhide the label so that it's visible. And of course, change the alignment to center alignment. So yeah, with that, we're done with everything. And this screen is almost done. All that's left to do is set up the CRUD operations now. So to do that, let me quickly add one button over here. I'll rename this to add product, and of course we need to set it to navigate it to our second screen. There is the go to the action here and add a new action. We want to navigate to the insert product screen. Give it some name, go to insert, and yes. Cool. Now that's set up. Let's go to the insert product and see how it looks over there. So again, same stuff. I just have a layout ready with some fields to display all my information, a product ID, product name. And if you notice the asterisk here, I have set it to as a required field. So you need these fields to compulsorily for it to add a product. The image URL, I've kept it as optional. It's a URL for any image you might want to add for that product. You can take it from your internal database and whatnot. But that is pretty much it. Let's take a look at this add button over here and let's add an action to it so it becomes functional. So we get this screen, click on the plus button to add actions and server-side actions and everything else. So let's go to the server side action and do the usual drill. Click on our connector. We want to add data, so we'll go to the insert product connector and set up each of the field. So for product name, we need our product name 1. For category name, we need category 1. For price, we want our price control, and for image URL, we'll use image URL, and for product ID, we'll choose the corresponding variable. So awesome, everything has been set. We'll just give it a name, insert a record, and finish it. So we get two options: what should happen in the case of success, what should happen in the case of failure. So let's quickly display a toast for success, and let's say product has been successfully added. Awesome. And display success. Cool. Let's also display a toast for failure. I'm just gonna duplicate the toast I have and edit it so it's faster. So change it to error, change this to error. Product has not been successfully added, error. So yes, I'll change the name to display failure so that we don't get confused later on. But yeah, now that's done. Let's also navigate back to our main screen. So let's go back to admin panel and go to admin, and let's also reset the screen or refresh the screen so that it shows the updated data instantaneously. So let me refresh my admin panel, refresh screen. Awesome. And we've now set up our action for it to work perfectly. So let's head back to our panel, and all that's left to do is finish the update and delete tasks. So if you remember, for the card, we have already set up the card on row click to go to our product display screen. So let's head over there and do some changes. So same thing, I've added a bunch of fields to display the data, and I've set it up to display whatever field we connect. Through that, just click on any name and go to the data, and we'll go to the control section and ask it to choose the control from our admin panel and the product list and whatever name was been selected in the product list. So result.rows.product name. So once we do this for all the fields, we'll get the exact information to display what we have selected, and we just need to set these two buttons. So I've already set this up, but you go to the button, exact what we've done for insert, we need to do the exact same thing for update, and similarly display success, display error. Go back to admin and refresh the screen. It's the exact same stuff. Similarly, exact same stuff for delete, control to delete the product, not a control query. So delete the product, display success or failure, go to admin, refresh screen. And with that, we are pretty much done and are ready to review our panel and see if everything works. Awesome, I'm excited. So yeah, let's preview it. So give it a minute to load. It's loaded. Awesome, it looks pretty nice. My graphs are working fine as expected. I have my 3 interactive graphs, my product list. Let me try adding a new product. So let's say product with the product ID 6 and a MacBook, and I have a URL in my clipboard ready for the image. Let's put the category as electronics and the price is maybe $1,000, and let's add it. So you can see it's gone back to the screen and it's instantaneously updated our latest product over here. I can also go and edit it right now. Let me try editing it to a MacBook Air M1 and see if it updates well. So yeah, it's updating also. And let me also try deleting this product just for the sake of completeness. And awesome. So everything works fine. This is how you can quickly build a MongoDB admin panel and lots more in just under a couple of minutes. I hope you liked the video and learned something useful out of it. And well, I'll catch you guys next time.